Okay, Act 5. We've begun. Act 5, Scene 1. This is in Mantua, so we can only assume that it has something to do with Romeo. Remember, the plan here is that Friar Lawrence is going to send a message to Romeo letting him know about the plan. The unfortunate part about the situation is that everything's a little bit quicker because Juliet had to drink the vial a day earlier because, Mr. Capwood wanted to put the marriage on Wednesday as opposed to Thursday. And so here's Romeo to start. He has some dreams, and we begin. Ooh, vet recommended for dental care.
Trust the flattering eye of sleep. My dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's lord sits lightly in his throne, and all this day an unaccustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts.
So right away, Romeo says, if I can trust my dreams, then joyful news is coming. Love rules my heart, and all day long a strange feeling has been making me happy. So obviously this dream's pretty true, and he's going to find out that Juliet is going to come to him, but it may not come through as good news here. I don't know. Maybe the news that he gets at first might be that Juliet is dead. And even though that is good news, it's cheerful news. We know it's cheerful news, dramatic irony. We have to assume that if Romeo gets news like that, it's not going to be good news to him.
I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think, and breathes such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Ah me! How sweet is love itself possessed, when but love's shadows are so rich in joy. News from Verona. How now, Balthazar?
So Balthazar is here. Balthazar is a servant of the Montagues, and he's showing up.
Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet? That I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well.
Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives.
So here, the news is, that she's dead. This is good news. We know it's cheerful news because we know what the outcome is, right? Unfortunately, Romeo doesn't see this as the good news. And Balthazar is not the messenger from Friar Lawrence. Balthazar is a servant, and he's come to visit Romeo because of the death of his wife.
I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it from my office, sir.
So Balthazar says, hey, I'm sorry for bringing you the bad news, but you told me to do this. You told me it was my job to come tell you this if something happened. And so Romeo responds,
Is it even so? Then I defy you, stars! Thou knowst my lodging. Get me ink and paper and hire post horses. I will hence tonight.
I do beseech you.
So he says, is this really true? He says, then I defy you, stars. What does Romeo say when he says, I defy you, stars? He says, I rebel against you, dreams, right? He thought good news was coming to him, and he feels that it's not good news. We know that it's good news, but Balthazar and Romeo don't think that it's good that Juliet's dead. No one would, but of course, we know more than the characters do.
You, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure.
Tush! Thou art deceived. Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No.
So he says, do you have a message from the friar?
Oh, my good lord.
No matter. Get thee gone, and hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight. Well,
so Balthazar leaves, right? He's not the messenger guy, message from Friar Lawrence, so obviously he hasn't told the whole story. He's just come to tell Romeo this because he was told by Romeo he needs to tell him if something happens to Juliet. And so he's done that, and Romeo says, well, go get some horses. I'll be right with you. They're going to go back to Verona tonight. And then Romeo says,
oh, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts he dwells, which late I noted. In tattered weeds, with overwhelming brows, culling of simples, meager were his looks. Sharp misery had worn him to the bones, and in his needy shop a tortoise hung, an alligator stuffed, and other skins of ill-shaped fishes. And about his shelves, a beggarly account of empty boxes, green earthen pots, bladders, and musty seeds, remnants of pack thread, and old cakes of roses were thinly scattered to make up a show. Noting this penury to myself, I said, and if a man did need a poison now whose sale is present death in Mantua, here lives a caitiff wretch would sell it him. Oh, this same thought did but forerun my need. And this same needy man must sell it me, as I remember this should be the house. Being holiday, the beggar's shop is shut. What ho! Apothecary!
So an apothecary is a pharmacist. He thinks that this pharmacist does some illegal drug exchanges, and he's hopeful that he can give him a poison, right, that would immediately kill him. Well, he's looking for a poison to help him out here, and we'll kind of see why.
Who calls so loud? Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold, there is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins, that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fired, doth hurry from the fatal cannon's womb. Such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any he that utters them.
So Roman says, give me a poison that will kill me on the spot. The apothecary says, well, I can't do that. It's against the law. I can die. I can be put to death for that.
So bare and full of wretchedness, and fierce to die? Famine is in thy cheeks, need and oppression starveth in thine eyes. Contempt and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it, and take this. My poverty, but not my will, consents. I pay
So he says, I'm going to take it because I'm poor, not because I want to help you out.
Thy poverty, and not thy will. Put this in any liquid thing you will, and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
So he's given him a pretty lethal poison. He said, if you had the strength of 20 men, it would still kill you immediately.
There is thy gold. Worse poison to men's souls, doing more murders in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that thou mayest not sell. I sell thee poison, thou hast sold me none. Farewell, buy food and get thyself in flesh. Come, cordial, and not poison, go with me to Juliet's grave, for there must I use thee.
So the plan here is he's going to take this poison, he's going to go to Juliet's grave, and he's going to die next to his wife. He's going to drink this evil mix of potion, or whatever you want to call it, and he's going to die. And because he can't imagine living his life without his wife. And obviously, a beautiful thing there, but the reality is that this probably isn't the best way to die. And it isn't. Not the reality is it probably isn't. It is not the best way to die. And we'll stop there, and we'll continue on with Act 5, Scene 2 in about 1 minute.